Hey guys, just wanted to do one more video this week. I actually had someone comment on my 3 heartbeats video where we found out we're having triplets, just saying thank you for sharing kind of your initial reactions like on camera at the ultrasound, but they wanted to know more in depth about what our true feelings, or especially my true feelings, are on triplets and having triplets. So this is going to be a super real video. Like, I'm not gonna fluff this up, and I'm just gonna share kind of my, like, I don't even know if you call them negative, but like the negative side of my feelings on it, and then like the positive side of all of this. So I'm gonna start with kind of the negative stuff I felt. In 3 days, we actually have our 8-week and 1-day ultrasound, where we get to see the babies again and make sure that baby C is still growing on track and things like that, since we couldn't see a yolk sac last time. So I really wanted to share these feelings before I knew for sure if all 3 babies are still doing well, because I think that would sway like my feelings and what I say in this video. So I wanted to do it just based on that first ultrasound of we're having triplets. So I'm going to start with just kind of the more negative side of what I felt and what I'm feeling. So honestly, when they stuck the ultrasound in, you heard me saying, oh my gosh, or something like that. And in my head, I'm just screaming, no, 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 no. Like, this is not what I wanted. So that was kind of my initial feelings, is just like, no, 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 no. And mainly because I just, oh man, there's so many risks with triplets. And yeah, I think I've read the stories and I'm so scared. And you know, I was just scared the whole ultrasound. And then later that night, it was either later that night or the next day, I remember telling Jeremy that I kind of felt like I was robbed in a way. And I know that must sound terrible, and I'll explain all the positive stuff later, but I kind of felt robbed because with Abram's ultrasound, you know, when they stuck the, ultrasound in, you see the heartbeat and you're just sitting there in awe. You're just like, look at my baby. Oh, look at its heartbeat. Look at it. Oh, it has a, you're just in awe of it. And we never really got that with this ultrasound. You know, there were 2 perfectly healthy, all 3 had a heartbeat, but 2 of them looked perfect, with the yolk sacs and everything. And there was none of that, like, look at them. It was, as soon as they stuck it in and saw 3, everything was just overcome by fear, not only to me, but even you see in my 3 heartbeats video that there's like 4 doctors staring at the screen and everything's just measuring and like, okay, they're 3, are they in 3 separate sacs? So it just all became very like medical and serious. There was no, wow, we're having a baby. And even if it was only twins, I think there would have been more of that versus triplets. So I kind of feel robbed. Like, there was part of me that didn't get to enjoy that, like, wow, look at our ultrasound moment, And even since then, I've had a lot of moments of just scared and hoping baby C's okay. And so I don't know, it's hard because you have this vision in your head of having this pregnancy and welcoming this baby, and it's all kind of, now it's overcome by triplets. And am I gonna have to get a cerclage? Am I gonna, it's all of these thoughts that go in your head. It's more survival. That's a good way to describe it. Is that the thoughts and the planning and the things that me and Jeremy are talking about isn't so much like, wow, in 9 months there's gonna be a little baby. It's more like, okay, in 9 months, like, you're gonna be working here and we're gonna do this. And it's more just survival, and we're trying not to be focused on that, but it's hard when Abram's gonna be, if they're born at full term, 34 weeks for triplets, Abram will be 22 months old. So we're gonna have 4 children under 2. So yeah. And another part of me feels like, I've been walking down the streets here in Ecuador, and I'll see a mom with a teeny tiny little baby, and she's nursing it and walking, and it's in a wrap and a carrier. And part of me is kind of jealous because I probably won't ever get that again. You don't have that with triplets. You don't have this, you can't just hold your one little baby. Or, I remember being pregnant, or after I gave birth to Abram, I remember just sitting in a recliner and he would fall asleep nursing, and I would just stare at him for an hour, and he could just sit there on my chest for an hour. That's not going to happen with triplets. There's going to be no like lingering. It's like, put you down, feed the next one, put you down, bottle, whatever. So that's what I mean when I say I feel robbed in a sense. But with all that said, let's get to the positive stuff. It's not all negative, I promise. Let me just say this really quick too before I have any like rude comments or thoughts on this. You know, we did wait 9 years for Abram. We waited so long. We went through so much loss. We went through IVF. And so don't think for a minute that I'm not grateful. Like literally every night I sit here and hold my belly and just pray over each individual baby, baby A, baby B, baby C. I can still see them in my mind on the ultrasound, where they were and how big each one was and where they were placed in the sack. And so I pray over each one. I want each one of them. I pray each one of them is doing really well when we go back for ultrasound in 3 days. And you know, when I picture them at, you know, when I picture the triplets at 3 and Abram's 4.5 or 5, I'm like, that's going to be so cool. Like, I'm so excited when I picture them older and playing, and we've kind of got past the survival stage of high order multiples. I can't wait. Like, that's so cool. We always wanted 4 children. We always wanted more than 2, definitely, you know, but 4 was kind of our ideal scenario. And so I want them all. You have to understand there's just real feelings that go with it. Like, you're kind of mourning the fact that I won't be able to linger with one baby. You know, you're mourning these things you thought would be. You're mourning some of those, you know, ideas you have in your head of what motherhood's going to look like the second time around. So with that said, the positive things is I love picturing them older, playing with Abram, and them all being very close in age. I think it's going to be so fun. And the positive stuff too would just be that we don't have to do IVF again. Like, we never have to do this again. This is it. We're going to get 3 babies out of 1. You know, hopefully we're hoping that all of them are doing well. So that's a really positive too, is just that it's all going to be done, you know, and they're going to be close in age. And when I think about getting to name 3 more children and getting to see what 3 more children look like, and when I think about, you know, I plan to homeschool, when I think about just having my 4 children sitting around the table and they're all, you know, within 2 years apart, the triplets and Abram, it just seems so cool. Like, I love that. Like, I think that's going to be really cool. So it's not all negative, but those are my honest feelings on triplets, is just feeling kind of robbed and having to mourn some of my ideas of what this pregnancy is going to look like and this stage of motherhood is going to look like in birth and breastfeeding and, you know, all of those things. And, you know, some of the excitement too, when I think I posted this on my Facebook, but, you know, when you get pregnant, you kind of start looking up like, oh, what's a cute car seat and what's a cute pack and play? And you start kind of looking up the stuff. And then, you know, when you're having triplets, you're like, that's a really cute car seat, but it's $130 times 3. Oh my goodness. And you start going, everything that's cute, you're like multiplying it times 3, and you're like, whoa. So that's hard too. I'm really trying to kind of like bring it in and focus on today, to focus on like, today I'm 8 weeks pregnant with triplets. Okay. And not like, but in a year I'm gonna have to do this and then formula and then blah, 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 blah. You know, if I start letting myself go to like at 6 months and 9 months and all the things we're gonna have to go through and purchase and experience, and then it can be really overwhelming. So my goal is really, my true honest feelings is, there's a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, there's a lot going on in my mind, but I have to like reel that in and stop myself and be like, okay, relax, you know. So those are my true honest feelings, guys. I go back in 3 days to see how all 3 of them are doing. I'm super excited. I hope they're all doing well. Please keep praying for every single baby in there, that it still has a heartbeat, that has a yolk sac, that it's growing and dividing, and that things are developing well. I think about that every night, just praying that everything is just developing and happening the way it's supposed to. And I just really appreciate your guys' support. If you have any other video ideas or things you want to see, or, you know, if you have questions about like, how are you feeling about this, like, I would love to share that. So I love when you throw those ideas out there, because it helps me just know that's a good idea to make. Okay, I'll make that video next. So anyway, those are my true feelings on triplets. Bye guys, talk to you later.